Soderbergh continues his tradition of making movies that most people don't want to see with actors that everyone wants to see. So, let's talk Let Them All Talk. A famous author goes on a cruise ship with two of her oldest friends and her nephew to find some fun and happiness while also having to come to terms with her troubled past. I was really excited about this one. The trailer makes it seem like a very uniquely fun comedy melodrama with three incredible actresses. Let Them All Talk is interesting. It's got the cards for a knockout movie, but it plays its hand in a way that is interesting, but interesting in a way where you'll talk about it when the movie's over, think about it while you're on a walk, but it's not memorable. It's just interesting. So if it's an action movie, we want the destruction. If it's a sci-fi movie, we want the weird fantasy. If it's a horror movie, we want the scares. This, a comedy melodrama, it's banking big on the fight. These three lifelong friends have not seen each other in years, and there is legitimate beef that this movie is going to get to. It's centered around the melodrama, and we are waiting for those scenes where we get those fights, we hear that amazing dialogue, and then at the end of it, we know, oh, these three actresses, Oscars. Oscars? Oscars. So the angle this movie comes in on is to tease out that fight, to hold it back from us as long as possible, and the dynamics of everything that bubbles to the surface from the characters not having the fight is what this movie is built on. From what bubbles to the surface, you get observations on passive-aggressive behavior, what it means to leave a legacy, and all this stuff is talked about through very funny and well-played conversations. But the movie knows that it's getting this stuff by holding out on that fight that we're really, really here for. The confrontation does arrive, and watch the movie to see how you think about how it plays out. But it becomes clear that it was not actually about that. It was about the stuff that was around the edges. And that stuff does connect in an interesting way, but not in a fulfilling way. And it's almost like the movie knows this and also doesn't really care. The movie plays almost more like an experiment. It is good on its own terms, but it's most fun to watch if you follow the director, Steven Soderbergh's work. Soderbergh's body of work is defined by making movies that on their face would appeal to a broad audience, but they're structured in very unconventional ways that fit more in the art house indie kind of world. He is keeping his movies small right now, reducing the budget even more with streaming, and experimenting a whole lot more than usual. I am glad that this business model seems to be working. He has put out some very eclectic pieces of work over the last few years. This is a good, fun, in-the-moment thing, but more incidental, I'd say. It'd be a good time if he got back to making the bigger movies, ventured out into the larger scale productions. But seeing as Soderbergh is already in post on his newest movie and is producing the Oscars right now, I think it's safe to say that he's already forgotten about this movie, and I don't think there'll be any hard feelings if we do too.